Hello everybody, I'm back at my favourite place, Velo Bavarian bike shop with the one and only Jimmy. Today we're going to be learning, well I'm going to be learning, I'm sure Jimmy already knows, all about tubeless tyres. So I have ridden tubeless before, but only literally like 3 or 4 times last year when I did a few gravel events. Normally I ride with tubes, but for the winter, Rella is coming back out. I'm going to stick with tubes for the road because I just feel more comfortable with them. But for gravel rides, I'm going tubeless because everyone keeps telling me to.
So this isn't going to be like all the technical stuff you need to know. This is going to be super basic. Hopefully I can sort of get rid of some of those what are they called? Preconceptions worries of tubeless. You know, it's not that scary, even though it is sometimes a little bit more messy. And you know, in my opinion, especially off road, it'll save you 60% of the time. It's just those big cuts or things you would always have a puncture off, it can't fix. Thorns, stuff like that, it should save you, especially when the weather's cold. I would rather 60% of the time not have a puncture. And not get cold hands and try and put a tube in and stuff. But you can always put a tube in. With mine and Kyle's track record, we get a lot of punctures. We do have, so the tyres we're going to put on, Panna Racer very kindly sent me out these. They are I don't know what they're actually called. These. They don't have a name. Gravel King Tough Tex. They are 45C. Is that good, Jimmy? Yeah.
That's the width, isn't
it? So you had 40s on before?
40s before.
Yeah.
Kyle's going to have these.
Yeah.
On his gravel bike. I'm going to have the new ones. Oh, hang on, Luke's here now. Luke, you can come on the video, it's alright. He's bringing me some mud guards. He doesn't want to be on.
Don't know.
How much are these going to knock me back?
They are retail £52.
Oh, that's alright.
So, 35 quid.
You sure? Oh, thanks, Luke.
That's right, no problem. Don't tell anybody.
So going on.
They would actually fit, so you wouldn't necessarily need to take them off for gravel.
Oh, they'll fit on the gravel?
Yeah, they've up to, well, maybe not with the bigger
45s I've got.
Yeah, they should still be fine. They're rated to 42, but
great stuff.
They got a bit of clearance.
Yeah.
I'll be welcome on group ride to these.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's not like you're not welcome anyway.
No, but I don't want to splash anyone. Sorry about that interruption. Basically, I'm getting some mud guards as well. So last time I was here with Jimmy, we did like a Q&A, and what else did we do? Something else?
How to
change a tyre, yeah. And some people did ask a few questions about tubeless, so we'll ask Jimmy some questions today. Basically, Jimmy's going to take off these tyres, which have been left for about at least 8-9 months.
Since Roubaix, wasn't it? You did, or...
I did
Dirty Reaver, yeah.
They've been left for at least 9-10 months.
So I presume when we take these off, the sealant's probably not going to be the nicest.
And then we're going to put the new tyres on, and you're going to show us how to put tubeless tyres on.
Yeah.
Can you explain what tubeless actually is? Because I know that sounds stupid, but...
No. It's, there's no stupid questions in cycling, we all have to learn everything,
I've got a lot to learn.
It's like, I don't know everything, I specialise in what we do, but it's like, So in a sense, tubeless is, you do not have an inner tube in here. There used to be something more in the past now called tubular, which was like a glued on tyre.
Oh yeah, I remember people talking about that.
And this is where some people get a bit confused when they're buying online, because they think tubular is tubeless, but it's not. It's a tub. It's glued on. Still used quite a lot in track. Some TT riders still use them. Some cyclocross riders still use them, because they tended to be more of a round tyre. You didn't get as much of a squareness to it like you do on some of the tyres now. But yeah, anyway, that clears up that. In a sense, it's a tyre with a slightly stronger carcass, a slightly stronger bead.
I like the word carcass.
Yeah. In general, that then you have a layer, what you have like roughly, say for gravel, I like to have 4 ounces of sealant in.
Okay.
For road, I'd have 2. Again, different widths, different, all that stuff, you can play around with it. But you have a valve that looks like this. That goes inside the wheel, and then you fit the tyre, you fit the sealant, and then you pop it on, either with a compressor, but I don't have one of them in my workshop.
What's this? We having a fire?
It looks a bit like that actually, but or you can buy something like this. This is a Schwalbe tyre booster.
What, you have to put that?
This will help to pop it on.
Right.
So because there's no inner tube pushing it on.
Yeah.
There needs to be another way for it to sort of pop on, and it will pop onto the hook or and more modern wheels will not have a hook, but we're not going to go into that debate because that's I'm sure someone in your comments will want to talk about that. But yeah, wheels in a sense will either have a hook or won't have a hook. And what we'll do is when we pop this on, this will pop the bead of the tyre onto the edge of the rim, and then it will make a seal in a sense. Sometimes the sealant will help that as well. It will seal the small little gaps and help us make a nice airtight sort of system. This is something we'll maybe get into later on. If you're doing this often, like people get into gravel or they want to set up all their bikes, these are about £50, and they're sort of they're kind of worth having if you kind of got a family, or like, you know, there's sort of 2 of you in the household that are doing it. I have one of these at home, but obviously it's kind of,
I'll just bring mine to you, Jimmy.
Yeah. A lot of people do that as well.
Yeah, most people that I speak to go to this bike shop to get sorted. I mean, I would like to learn to do it myself, but I'm getting worried already looking at that.
So yeah, in a sense, tubeless is a tyre with no tube inside, bit of sealant inside it, a valve. Reason you do that is, the main benefits I think are you can run them slightly lower pressure, so you're not going to, if you hit a big rock or something, you've not got that inner tube to pinch.
Right.
So it means that you won't get that sort of
pinch puncture.
Yeah, you won't necessarily get as many, you know, pinch punches. You can still pinch the tyres, but you tend to find that tubeless tyres are a little bit tougher than non-tubeless tyres. If you get a thorn or something like that, it can seal again roughly 60% of the time. That's sort of the little line I normally say, but it's kind of, that's what I kind of find in the real world. It will seal, you know, thorns and little bits of flint and stuff. It won't seal if glass cuts your tyre, stuff like that. But you can still fix a tubeless tyre to a certain point. If you do get a rip in it, you can sort of patch the inside, and you don't have to buy a new £70 tyre or something.
Because with tubeless, so for example, these tyres are tubeless, but you can't put it into a non-tubeless tyre. It's got to be a tubeless ready tyre, hasn't it? The specific tyre.
Yeah, so you've got to have a tubeless ready tyre, and that's all to do with like the thread count and sort of, there's a little bit more technology. I'm not going to go crazy into it because you don't need to know about it. But like, it's, you know, but you can still put a tube in a tubeless tyre.
Probably wouldn't put a tube in a gravel tyre, just because I went on a gravel ride with you last year, didn't I? Me and Kyle. And we had tubes and we got quite a few punctures, because you're more likely to puncture on gravel. But like these are the road, these Panaracer sent these as well, thank you Panaracer. These are road tyres, but they're tubeless ready. They originally sent them for me, but I just really like my tube, so Kyle is going to go tubeless on the road for the winter. But like, for example, these, if I wanted to, I could just put tubes in and use them as a normal tube tyre. And
I would always say, even if you're set up tubeless, still ride with a tube.
Always take one. So if you get a puncture on a tubeless tyre, you can still put a tube in.
Yeah, you just need to basically take the core out. It will be a bit messy, but most sealants nowadays are fine for the environment.
Right.
Obviously, there are some out there, you know, that are not great, but, you know, especially ones like we stock, and I think the one that you brought in today, that's fine. So if you do spill it on the ground and stuff like that, it's not going to harm any animals. Or
no donkeys.
No donkeys are going to die from tubeless sealant.
Okay, good.
Most sealants are water soluble as well. So if you do get it on the side of your rim, or you get it on your hands while you're kind of out in the field, you can literally just get your water bottle, wash your hands, or get you know, it'll wash off, kind of thing.
I was going to say, I normally take tissue with me on a ride, but it's not for tubeless, Jimmy. Right, anyway, let's take the tyre off and see what condition it's in.
So sometimes this can be a bit harder than a normal tyre.
Right,
because
great. It's not good for me.
For the initial bit, just because the sealant can sometimes stick it to the wheel. So
no problem for you though, Jimmy.
You see what I mean by how it's a bit like snake skin almost.
Is that because it's been left in too long?
So this is dry, so we've not topped up. So normally, as a rule of thumb, I'll top up my sealant every 3 months if I've not had a puncture. If I've had a puncture, then I will just top it up anyway.
Is it easy to top it up?
Yeah, so some are different. So we use a brand where you have to pour it in, so you can't go through the valve core.
Right.
So you can't go through the valve. That's our more premium one. So then it is a little bit annoying. You have to obviously open up the side of the tyre.
What about the one I use?
But then the one you use would be fine. So all you would do is to top this up, you would basically, I would kind of put one of them into a gravel tyre, so that's 4 ounce. But if I was topping up, I would put half in each tyre. So
Right,
you just get another bottle of this, and then you'd put half in each.
How do you put it in then?
We'll go through this in a bit,
Okay,
but
right. Sorry.
in a
Getting ahead
sense-
of myself.
I'll show you. It's basically going to be loads of dried sealant now on the inside of here.
Oh dear.
Should be able
It's
to-
sticky. Oh, blimey, yeah. Like Iron Man. Oh yeah, it's. What do you do with that now then? You've got to clean. Shall I clean that?
Yeah, so I will probably clean this off just because it's different
I
brands.
can do that.
If it was the same brand,
Yeah.
if it's my bike, I probably wouldn't care. But if it is if it's a customer's bike, I
Yeah.
will obviously clean it off.
Yeah.
You can also get things. This isn't an ad for this brand, but loads of brands do it.
Yeah.
They do like a glue remover or
Oh,
like
right,
sealant
okay,
remover.
yeah.
So you can, in a sense, just spray this on
Yeah.
all the way around, and then
Yeah.
you'll be able to scrub it off
Oh,
with a
right.
cloth much easier because it'll kind of soak into that
Yeah.
sealant kind of stuff, and then it'll just wipe off sort
Oh,
of
that's
thing.
good.
But
I
yeah.
can do that if you want to.
Jimmy was just saying how when he used to work at a bike shop when he first started, you used to have all the rubbish jobs, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I was saying that Amy asked if she can get this on the floor, and I did say I'm probably going to get the Saturday lad to clean it tomorrow. But I did have to say that I also was a Saturday lad once, and I had to do all these terrible jobs. So,
Yeah, it's how you learn, isn't it, Jimmy?
but also while I'm on this, you can see now. So where Amy's left her wheels, it's pooled at the bottom. So you see how
Oh,
there's
yeah.
loads
Oh.
there. That's just because you would have in your house or wherever it was lent, it was just lent like that.
Oh yeah.
So that's something as well. Like if you do have Tubeless set up, every now and again it's worth just spinning them, even if
Oh,
you're not
yeah.
riding them for a month. Just give them a spin, and then it'll kind of spread it all back out again. Because obviously that's all at one point.
Yeah.
And if you'd left it for this sort of length of time, you might actually feel that on the road.
Oh,
Like
really?
it'd be like a little bit of the weights in that one point.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I'm worried about because I don't do like gravel. I probably do gravel in the winter. I'll probably only be riding gravel like once a month.
yeah.
So will that dry out a lot? What the hell is that?
That's actually where you've had a puncture.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Show that
so
on-
this is a brand
Jesus,
of
it's like a
sealant
claw
called
coming through.
Silka.
Yeah.
I can tell from the flakes and yeah, because I'm a nerd when it comes to sealant. But there basically, you have had a thorn or something, and it's basically sent all the little bits. Silka has carbon
Can't
little
believe
flakes in
that.
it. It's sent all those little bits to that one point, and then
That's
that's
crazy. Is that
so
the
that-
thorn under there?
that you can't see it on the outside, but it would have been
I'm
here.
actually mesmerised by that. Look at that. That is.
So that would have been where there is a
So
puncture.
what do we have to do about that now? Is that okay? Just
That's
leave it like
fine,
that?
yeah, yeah. And
Really?
even if we kind of reset it up with new sealant,
Yeah.
it will seal that hole again. It's not a problem.
So that'll be okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Well,
I would
Kyle-
just clean out all
Kyle's
this.
riding on them anyway, so
Yeah.
I don't care. No, I'm joking. I do because I'll have to stop with him if he gets a hump.
Oh.
Are you allowed to say on the camera about your exciting job?
Oh, so
Or
yeah, so I've signed a contract for next year to work part-time with the UAE ladies team. So I will be working with...
That's amazing, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's more, the first year is more with the development and the younger ladies.
Yeah.
Or the, I'm not going to all the big races. I'm not doing the Tour de France and stuff, but I
Yeah.
will do the Tour of Poland, and
That's
I'll do the
so
Tour of
cool.
Britain because obviously it fits.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
here. And then
That's amazing.
yeah, I'm doing the Crow race and then another one in Italy. So only 4 races for me next year, but
That's still
it's
so
like
great.
yeah. It's so fun.
Basically, I'm privileged to be in the same room as a basically pro mechanic now.
Ah, yeah. I can
That's
say
what
I'm a
you are,
world
Jimmy.
tour mechanic now.
You're
so.
a world tour mechanic.
When you've took the tyre off, if this is something that was set up tubeless again, but you kind of exactly the same scenario that we're in, we're going to reset it up tubeless, I would just check the rim tape and just check how stuck down it is. So
Yeah, mine was a bit.
yeah,
wasn't
so
very stuck.
basically now, you can see some of it's not super duper stuck down. It should still be fine because you kind of have had sealant in, and the sealant will still seal the gaps in it. But yeah, you could always get it replaced. Again, that's not something I'd get someone to do at home because
No.
it's got to be put on right. A roll of rim tape is like £10 or something, so it's not a massive
It's not going to
investment.
break the bank.
No, but you can kind of, if it's not setting up, if it's not, if you're having trouble setting it up, it could be the rim tape at this point.
Right. Is this okay, Jimmy, or does it still need a bit?
That looks okay. It doesn't need to be too much.
I'm a bit of a perfectionist, sorry. I've been cleaning the bathroom this
If you
afternoon.
don't leave it 6 months, it'll be more of a liquid, and then you'll be able to wipe it off.
So basically, it's my own fault.
A little.
Which is true.
imagine this is a brand new wheel,
Okay.
and we've never set these up tubeless before.
Yeah.
First of all, you'll get your tubeless valves, and now you want to make sure that the tubeless valve is the right length for your wheels.
Yeah.
So if someone's running deeper wheels, there is many a different size of tubeless valves.
Everyone comes in different shapes and sizes.
So you can get like little tiny ones, you get
Where's the hole?
ones, and then these ones are the ones I've just took out, but they're what I put in for you.
Yeah, these are like normal. These rims are like, they're meant to be more aero or something. Is that right?
Yeah, they've got a bit of an aero
I call them
profile
the
to them.
shell.
They're sort of aero, but they're kind of good in the crosswinds because they still let a bit of air through. The deeper the wheel, the more it'll kind of push you to one side or whatever.
These are actually Princeton wheels that came with my lovely Rella.
Yeah.
They are an expensive brand, but
They are.
I do feel a bit like, whatever I do.
They're a bit nice for gravel.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone out there needs something this expensive, but
you know, if you can afford it, why not?
or if you get it, you might as well ride it.
If you're sponsored by it, why not?
Ride the best bike that you can get hold of.
Yeah.
That's what we always say. So, yeah, you've got to find the valve hole, which is near
And
the
I like to
Princeton
call it the
logo.
blowhole.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah, basically, normally it'll be your valve will be in sort of 3 bits. So you'll have your actual valve, then you'll have a dust cap, then you'll have a small little nut, and quite often you'll have a little rubber. I can't remember what it's called.
Stay or something?
No.
Buffer?
No. I'm having a bit of a yeah.
Someone will
It
comment
basically this yeah. Someone can
Spacer.
comment this. It's just like left my brain. No, it basically sits inside your washer and it helps to make it air. Like it makes a seal basically. It's a rubber seal. But do this up pretty tight. Now you want to do this up quite tight so that it, especially the first time, because it needs to pull the top end of your valve into the rim tape and make a good seal. But you don't, it's a bit of a fine art because you don't want to have it too tight, and then when you do get a puncture you can't take it off and then put a tube in, because you'll have to take this valve out to put a tube back in. So it's like you almost want to have it tight, and then you'll find actually once you've put pressure and stuff in, it'll be a little bit looser because the pressure will push the rim tape down a bit more. It's a bit of a fine line, but I would sort of say you want to have it as tight as you can with your hands. You know, out in the field, you'll still be able to do that.
Oh yeah, because I don't want to get stuck and not be able to.
And a little trick I do is I'll quite often get the finger of my glove and I'll wrap it round and then I'll grip it, especially when it's cold. You'll be able to undo it, you know, once you've
so if you get a puncture, you need to put a tube in. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if you need to put a tube in, oh, I'm asking a silly question, doesn't matter.
No.
I was going to say, no, if you need to put a tube in, what would happen with the valve? But obviously the tubes come with the valve and that would come out.
Don't throw it in the hedge and stuff like that.
I've started to think, oh, the tube won't have a valve on it, but it will, so that's fine.
But then, yeah, quite often people will get a puncture and then they'll lose the valve and then they'll come in and then
oh yeah, because you save the valve for next time, yeah. So these are actually, I think these are quite new gravel tyres that just bought out because they've got the new logo on, the gold. See, the old ones, they're different.
These tyres do have a little arrow. So
the direction.
Yeah, direction. And it makes more of a difference. Well, there's a myth that you don't need to put them the right way, but it probably makes more of a difference on gravel just because you've got more going on. On the road, it's a fairly slick tyre, to be honest. It's not going to make that much difference.
Yeah, that's where Jimmy shows his muscles.
I don't know, after a day of...
What jobs have you been doing today, Jimmy?
I fitted some nice ceramic bearings to some nice wheels.
Oh, lovely.
I started building a new Cervelo.
Oh, not a Pinny?
I don't think I've worked on a Pinarello today, actually.
Oh, apart from this one.
Yeah, apart from this one. So, at this point, once you get to here, me working in the shop every day, this is where I put the sealant in. It's slightly more messy, but it's a bit faster. I just pour it in, and I know roughly how much I need to put in, and then I'll close the wheel, and then I'll pump it up. But I'll show you the more clean way.
Okay. Can you do the messy way with
the way you do in your living room on the carpet rather than the way you do in a workshop? Like, this is the quickest way, but it's a little bit messy. And one of the brands we use, you can't go through the valve because it'll seal the valve. So, but I'm pretty sure this stuff you can just wipe.
Yeah.
So
Seal Smart contains natural latex and walnut shells.
Wow.
What's that for?
They quite often, all these sealants will have something in it that's like to fill the gap. So like on the tyre that I showed you, I know I put silica in this, so I know that it's carbon flakes, but all these little bits in here is carbon fibre, so that must use
it says natural rubber and walnut shell grains. So the walnut, so if I get a puncture, basically walnuts are sealing it.
Yeah. Okay, so now, once I've put the tyre on, same as our last video, I now will pop it onto the bead.
Oh, so you pump it up?
Yeah, so I pump it up now with nothing in. So I set them up dry, and most of the time, what that means is you've got a nice seal. This is a good way to also test that rim tape that I was on about. If it sets up now, and even if it sets up with a floor pump, brilliant, you've got a really nice combination. A lot of problems with tubeless are because you haven't got a nice combination between wheel and tyre. So some tyre brands are better at tubeless, some wheels are better at tubeless, some widths are better with others. So, you know, it doesn't matter as much with gravel, but for road, you know, if you've got a wheel that is designed for a 28mm and you've got a 23mm tyre, it's not going to set up very well tubeless. But equally, if you've got an older wheel that's like a 17mm internal, it's getting a bit nerdy, but it's not going to set up very well with a really wide tyre. Okay. So it's kind of, it's all to do with the two brands working well together. But yeah, we'll see if this...
Hopefully it'll be okay. Have you ever done that and it exploded off?
I know people that have.
Really?
Yeah, I've never had it in this aspect, but I've had it before where on a different pump, like I'll just show you. This is I've got one here, like a Lesign one. You thread it on, so you instead of just clamping it on, you thread this onto the valve core.
Oh, I've had one of them before. It was a nightmare.
Where it's pulled the core out and
that happened to us on an Audax, and we had this horrible puncture, and then it kept pulling the valve out. Yeah. And then we couldn't pump it up. It was awful.
No, so that's set up with no sealant in it, and it's fine. So that little thing I just did then, as I was just checking that the tyre's seated. So sometimes it won't pop on all the way. So like this one, for example, this tyre has a nice little tiny line that runs all the way around. Yeah. If those little pops that we heard is basically the tyre popping on so that you can see that little tiny line. Yeah. If you can't see that, if there's like a bit like here, if it was stuck in, you can just push it on like that, or put in a little bit more pressure. Okay. So I've pumped these up to 50, but I didn't actually check to see what the maximum pressure is on them. 4 bar. 60. So yeah, basically, so you could pump them up a little bit harder. But now it's popped on, I will take the valve core out. There's loads of different tools for this, but...
What are you doing now?
So I'm going to take the core out now from the inside of the valve.
You're making me crave an apple now.
I'll show you what that is.
You're making me think of apples with cores.
Yeah, so I'll show you with this one, because it's easy to show you off the wheel. But in a sense, what we're going to do now is we're going to get our tool. There's loads of different versions of these. This is just a part tool one because I would use it all the time, but you can get much cheaper ones than that, and you're basically going to have to take the core out. Yeah. And now it's worth at this point just checking to see how gunked up it is. Yeah. You can kind of undo it, and if it feels like loose, you're fine. Like this one is absolutely fine, but quite often around here it will kind of like get bunged up with the previous sealant. Yeah. What you can do then is just chuck them in a bit of degreaser for sort of 5 minutes while you do everything else.
Does it smell weird? Does it smell like walnuts?
It doesn't really have a smell, I don't think. I don't know.
Oh, smells like a bit like hair dye.
like chemical.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Nothing like.
Probably not best to sniff.
Yeah. Probably says on it somewhere not to. We'll have to give us an hour or so before we drive over.
Yeah.
So now, what I would always do, I've got a bit of blue roll here anyway.
Is this where we're going to get it all over your top?
Yeah, this is sometimes where it does go over my top. Just get a bit of kitchen roll or blue roll or whatever. And then what I like to do now is I'll lean the wheel against the wall, and I'll just put this on underneath. Yeah. Just in case I make a mess, so I don't get it on my nice carpet. I'm going to see if it can come through here, but I reckon I'm going to have to chop There's 2 different lines on here. Obviously, I don't know. I've never used this brand before, but sometimes you have to chop that other off. So I'm going to try it without, but if we need to, obviously. So put one end of your nozzle on the valve.
Yeah. It's quite tricky to do, actually. Ooh, what's that icing?
That's fine, actually. You don't need... Yeah.
So you use the whole tube in there?
Yeah, so we're going to put the full amount in this. It's quite a big gravel tyre as well, so...
Yeah.
Between, like, most gravel tyres are like 40 to 50 mil. This is 4 ounces. I know it's a bit of an old measurement, but... yeah.
Well, it goes in quite quick.
Yeah. So this bit where it could be a bit messy. But as long as you hold it at, say this is a clock, 3 o'clock, you don't want to be doing this at the bottom, because as soon as you take that off, it'll all come back out. At the top, I find you can't really get the right leverage on it to get it in, so I just like to do it at 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock, you know, just halfway through. And then you'll put your little core back in.
Yeah. And that seals it in.
That just sort of, that means that now I can pump it back up.
Yeah. Oh, it's not that bad then. I thought it was going to be really much complicated than that.
No. That's what I mean. There's like a big myth online that tubeless is messy and scary and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not. You just need to take your time with it. And there's not going to be as good combinations as this. It's normally there's something wrong if you're constantly making a mess.
Yeah. What
I'd probably set
should we put in them now?
So I'm just going to pump up to 40.
Right.
And now what I will say is you will lose pressure quicker tubeless than you will with a tube. It is not quite as sealed of a system.
The GoPro just died, but we're back again.
Yeah, so what I was just saying was you will lose pressure a lot quicker with tubeless than you will a tube. You know, tyres are a little bit more porous, and you've got, you know, it's not quite a fully sealed system. Like, it is sealed, but it's kind of, they just lose pressure a little bit quicker.
So how often do you have to pump them up?
I would pump them up at pretty much every ride or every other ride. Like, again, some tyres hold pressure a bit better than others. It's 2 seconds really, just to chuck a bit more air in. You know, I ride most of the time with sort of just under 40 psi in. But again, it depends on where I'm riding. The next thing, once I've set them up, is I will say you need to spin them. So
I remember to keep them from last time.
Yeah, something to keep them sort of, to spread the sealant out now. So the sealant is basically in the bottom of the tyre here.
Right.
I have this tool, but
can you tell it's in the bottom? Oh yeah, because it's like bulging a bit more.
No, it won't.
Or is that just me being silly?
I think that's
just
your
me
eyes. But you basically want to make sure that they spin, and you want to spread all the sealant out. So you don't have to have this tool at home. You can do it in your bike.
Yeah.
It's built into my workbench, so might as well use it. And just spin them. Or once you've set them up, just go for like a 5-minute ride.
Yeah.
You know, it'll stay up better overnight once you've span them properly.
Okay.
What quite often happens with tubeless is you'll set them all up, you think you've done it perfect, the next morning you'll get up and they've gone flat. And that normally means is it's just not spread the sealant all the way around.
Okay.
So it just needs a good spin, you know, a couple of minutes in the bike or out on the road or whatever. If you do realise, oh, they seem to be going down more, it's probably at that point where you need to top it up. So like on that, I would sort of top up every 3 months if you've not had a puncture. If you've had a puncture or you know you've had a puncture, just top up, put a bit more in.
Yeah.
And then every sort of 6 to 8 months is when I would sort of take it out and reset back up.
Like what we've just done. And to top it up, do you just do what you did? Just put it on
so
the
you
end
do exactly what I did, but you just put half a bottle in. Okay. So instead of the full bottle, because it's going to dry out, and then, you know, I try not to top up more than once. Okay. Much more than like once or twice, because you're going to end up with lots of dry sealant in there. If you know some's come out, then you can top up or whatever. So yeah, just half a bottle is enough most of the time, and then every sort of 8 months, just replace it all again.
Perfect.
Shall I do the other one how I do it?
Yeah, show us the messy way. I want to see.
Messy. I'll literally just take the lid off and I'll just pour it in.
Oh my jeez. That's rogue, Jimmy. Oh, no wonder it's messy. It's taking off on the floor.
And then I'll just pour it around.
Oh jeez. That is quicker, but that is risky.
Pop this on now, and then I'll pump it up the same way.
Ah.
You just need to basically wipe it.
Yeah.
And then, like I said earlier, most tubeless sealants are water soluble, so you can just rinse that with your hose.
Don't show Kyle that way because he'll be doing it like that. I know what he's like, and it'll be all over our floor.
Yeah, I would not do this in my living room.
Well, I wouldn't be doing anything. My bike's not going in the living room anywhere. Does yours go in the living room?
No.
Mine goes, to be fair, we do keep it in the hall, in the house, but everything has to be done outside or in the garage.
Yeah, but it's cold at the minute. I don't know. Doing it.
So the next video that we're going to do, we're going to put these, we've not got time today to put these on Kyle's road wheel. So Kyle's going to go tubeless in January. So if there's anything we've missed, I know it's quite a long video actually, we've been talking quite a lot. Jimmy can talk for England about bikes.
I can.
You can. Hey Jimmy, actually, can I just show this?
Oh yeah,
This is Jimmy's hat he was wearing when I came. I love it.
I took it off so I didn't embarrass myself in the video.
Oh well, it's embarrassing now. Anyway, if there's anything we've missed, if you've got any questions, put them in the comments. Jimmy's just cleaning the floor.
Yeah.
Put them in the comments because Kyle will be here next time as well, and then we'll answer any questions that you've got. So yeah, put your questions in the comments.
And I'll show the booster next time as well, just so people want to know, like, you know, if you have the luxury of an air compressor at home, which I don't think many people will do.
Oh yeah, you
can
show
use
us
that,
today.
but we'll show that as well next time, just how to use it, because sometimes it is more important for road as well.
Okay.
Gravel, it's much lower pressures, so you don't tend to need it as much, like we haven't in this, and it's a good combination. But
I'm sure Kyle will enjoy seeing that because he likes his little gadgets.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching. Oh, I do have a discount code for Panaracer, which I'll put in the description if you do want to get some. And yeah, that's it really. Thank you very much, Jimmy.
No problem.
We are going to put these on at some point, maybe not today because we've got homes to get to and it's getting late. So I am going to be having what are they called again? Mud guards.
Yes.
But yeah, next ride I'm doing on Rella will be
A lovely gravel ride with my friend Laura. So she's going to be hitting the tracks and we'll see how the tyres fare.
Yeah.
And hopefully we won't get any punctures.
No, sounds good.
Right, thank you, Jimmy.
No worries.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.